Our number 2 template had the straight lines. Number 5 and number 10 also have straight lines, so those will work exactly like the number 2. Now with some of our templates, when the lines are fairly close together, like on the number 5 here, this is one of our templates where you can actually get 2 different designs out of it, and later on in the video you'll see samples of this made both ways. When that happens, you can cut every other pair of lines and get a different design than you would if you cut every pair of lines. But with all 3 of these templates, they're just straight line cuts. You'd always start from the corners, cut out, and fold your flaps over. Number 3 is very similar to number 2, except that the arrows run around in a circle. Now there is a little bit of a curve in those lines, but very, very slight. Now this one, after you've cut all the slits, you can fold one of the flaps anywhere you want, but go in the direction that the arrows are pointing. And another tip, depending on whether you're right or left-handed, the template may work better if it's turned over. So if you find that you're having difficulty getting the lines cut, just try turning it over and it'll give you a different direction to cut, so it might make a difference for you. 8, and number 6, and number 4, and number 7 all have a little bit bigger curves to them. I'm going to give you a little tip right now on how to do the curves. Earlier I showed you how to do some sample cutting with your knife on the paper. Because you're holding the knife upright, it makes it easy to make curve cuts just by rolling that knife in your fingers like this, and that's basically what you're going to be doing when you're cutting with the curve templates. Here's the number 7. Now when we're cutting, again, since there's points here, there's corners, you're going to start at that corner and cut away, but because there's a little bit of a curve, as you're pulling the knife, you're actually turning it slightly in your fingers also. I mean, it's a very, very slight turn, unless it's one of the tighter curve templates like the number 9. But just start in that corner, and as you're pulling the knife, you're slightly turning it in your fingers, and you're also pushing to the outside of that slit. And it shouldn't take you much practice to get very good at that. Now the one template that's a little bit different is the number 1. Number 1 does have a couple corners, but those corners are only 45-degree corners and not 90-degree corners like we had in the number 2 template. So what I recommend you do on the number 1 template is pick one of the ends of the slit, either one, start there with your knife, cut to the corner without lifting the knife, just rotate it slightly, go to the next corner, rotate it slightly, and go to the end of the slit. Make it all in one cut, that way you won't have any breaks in your corners. I would recommend that you start with the number 2 with the nice straight easy lines. This is the easiest template to do. You can try a couple of the other ones that have the straight lines, and then you can progress up to the curved lines after that. Always start out with thin papers. When you first start out, you could practice with just typing paper if you wanted to, but practice with thin papers and then work your way up after you get proficient at your cutting. Now we're going to show you some samples that we've made using each of these templates. Here we have a card made with our number 1 FOLD-em template, and then it's embellished with some stickers. The one sticker is on holographic film. Here's another one where also number 1 FOLD-em. Here we used our foil, which was attached to some text weight paper before we did the cutting. We use a Xyron for the attaching. Here's the number 2 template, the one we showed for the project. Another number 2. This one is our Gypsy Rose foil that's been Xyron to some text weight paper. Another one where 2 different papers were attached to give us that duplex look. This is the number 3 FOLD-em. This is the number 4. The design is cut out of our pearlescent paper and layered on top of foil. This one is number 5, which can be done 2 different ways. With some of our templates, if you cut every pair of lines in the design, you'll get a design like this. If you cut every other pair of lines, you'll get that. This is the number 6 template, pearlescent paper layered on top of our metallic stripes paper. And in this case, again, you can make 2 different designs out of this template. In this case, we cut all of the lines and folded every pair. In this one, again the number 6, we cut every pair of lines, but we only folded every other one. Now the number 6 is the one template that is different from all the rest. This one, the flaps do not tuck. You just fold them over, roll them down with your roller creaser, and it'll look like you see there. Here's the number 7. This is pearlescent paper layered on top of some text white paper. Again, this is the number 7 template, but in this case, every other pair of lines were cut. Here's our number 8 template with every pair of lines cut. Again, pearlescent paper. The back of the paper was stamped with some images, random images. Same design, again number 8, but in this case we cut every other pair of lines, and in this case we used pearlescent layered on top of our hydrangea foil. Here's the number 9 template. We had red and white paper Xyron together. We cut the design and then layered that on top of pink foil and decorated it with a sticker that we colored. That was a gold sticker that we started with, and then we colored it green and red where we wanted to. And then here we have the number 10 template. In this case we used metallic stripes paper, and we attached silver holographic film to the back. Our holographic film is adhesive backed, so we just stuck that to the back of the paper, cut it, and then attached it to the card. Check out our website for more designs, and we hope you'll come back and watch future tutorials with us.